Yes.
Yes, I have a story to share.
Here, give. Hey, you guys sitting there? Are you comfy? You want to bring your cushion or anything? Okay.
Yes, I have a story that I do love all animals and am very sensitive and understanding with them and feel that I talk back and forth with them as well.
Yes.
I'm going to share the first one is about crickets. In Arizona, we have lots of crickets, and any Arizonians here would know that.
Right.
When I was a little girl, I was about 7 years old, when they would turn out the lights at night, I would see spiders in the room, and I think it was just because of the darkness coming on.
Yeah.
And that was keeping my family up because I was crying, and when they would ask me what was I crying about, I would say, I see the spiders, and they're going to get me.
Yeah.
So that went on for about 2 weeks, and they were trying to comfort me. Nothing helped. And then my father says, this has got to stop because... I've got to work and you're disturbing the family. Yeah. So he said, I'm going to go out and I'll be back in a minute. Yeah. So he came in from the outside and he had his hand like this and he says, I want you to look at my hand. He was holding it like this. And he says, what I have in my hand is going to eat all those spiders and you're going to be okay.
Oh, just like that.
And when he opened his hand, it was a cricket.
Oh.
It was a cricket, but it worked. It really took away all my fears. And I had no problem. And how this pertains to the story of crickets in Arizona is that I used to do energy work at one time on my path. And the crickets, I always loved crickets for that reason.
Yeah.
And so I would always try to help crickets from that point on. And even to the point when I would see them in trouble, I would help them, put them outside.
Yeah.
So that's the story with crickets. And then two birds, I feel a very closeness with birds as well. And have an understanding with them. For example, we have birds in our yard for sure. And we have one we named him Butler. And he seems to be the one that's his territory, so he watches the whole territory. And he actually comes and sings to me every morning.
That's good.
Yeah, sings good morning to me. And we're all familiar about St. Francis of Assisi. There's a story out by Greek author Konstantzakis, and it's a story of St. Francis' life. And in the end, he turns into a sparrow. And so when I read that story, I wanted to give everything I had away, but I also was drawn to him because I love birds. And so when I read that, and at the end of the story he turned into a sparrow, I was always accompanied by many birds after that. And they would come to me at all times, and I would ask them, I'd say, are you St. Francis?
What did they say?
They would say, we'll let you figure that out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but there was just, a big group of birds just at different times. I could be at a restaurant, and they would come up to the window, and I would say, are you St. Francis? And so it's just a lot of love sharing with the animals.
Oh, are you okay now?
Yeah.
You can talk now? Okay, give it to her. She's waiting. I can feel the pressure. We can communicate, all right. And with these animals. Yeah.
The first time I realized that I can talk to at least ants at that time was I was disinitiated and I was living in an apartment in San Jose. And there was a whole bunch of ants that were visiting in my kitchen. I had a very little kitchen, and there was a big line of them. So I reported it immediately to my manager, who's right next door, and this was a big, burly Irish guy. And so he says, okay, I'll take care of it. So in the meantime, I thought, something came to me, and I thought, I think I should just figure out if I could talk to these ants so that they won't need to be eradicated, with poison. So I started talking to them psychically and said, it's time now for you to go back. You've done your visit, and thank you for visiting, and you can go back to the same way you came through. And that was it. So 2 hours later, I turned around and looked in the kitchen, and there was only about half of them left. I said, oh, that's pretty good. And about 6 hours later, they were gone.
Oh.
So the next day, my manager knocks on the door, got this big, huge spray gun, and he says, okay, he said, I'm ready to get rid of your ants. And I said, that's okay, I already took care of them. He says, what did you do? I said, I talked to them. He said, you're vegan. He found out I was vegan a few days before that.
He knows that.
And another story, but I guess I tend to gravitate toward ants because the second time we went to a 2-day retreat in LA, and by the bookstore there was a cemented area where people put their big tents. And one day I saw everybody was moving away from that big area, and I said, what's going on? How come you guys are moving? And they said, oh, a big bunch of ants, big ones. They're eating us up. So I said, oh, okay. So then I went back to my tent, and I saw a whole bunch of them behind my tent. And immediately I said, oh, my God, what? Right away I want to just do something drastic. And I thought, no, wait a minute. I remember I know how to talk to ants. So I told him again, I said, okay, I make a deal with you. It's okay. You can stay right here. You don't even have to leave. As long as you don't go inside my tent, you'll be fine. I come back about after meditation. They were completely gone. They left. And then my last story I had was with my mom. I lived with my mom, and she had this big house. And one afternoon, she had all these flying ants in the family room. And I saw her coming with this big fly swatter and a spray gun. And I said, wait, Mom. I said, let me take care of them. And she said, oh, what are you going to do? I said, I kind of didn't want to tell her. I said, well,
difficult.
I'll talk to them. She looks at me really funny, and so she went upstairs. So I talked to the ants. Same thing. I said, you please go back to your home, and thanks for coming. And you've already spent enough time with us. Bye-bye. So I check them out I went to bed, and I come back downstairs at midnight. They were all gone. So I thought, oh my God, I don't know what happened to them. I was worried. My mom must have really gotten rid of them. So the next morning I asked her, what did you do with the ants, Mom? She says, I don't know, I didn't do nothing to them. I said, oh my God, they did listen to me.
Yeah, that's good.
So from then on I knew that I could talk to them. And
you can talk all right, but the thing is whether they answer back, you see what I mean?
Now
whether you can hear them. We all can talk to them.
Right.
It's just that we cannot hear them. That's a special gift.
I was able to hear a parrot that was visiting a vegan restaurant in San Jose.
Oh.
We had one that visits there every day. And he was, everyone stops by to see this parrot because he's so beautiful and he talks a lot. He says all kinds of words. And one day, nobody was paying attention. Everybody's so noisy. And he started screaming like... talking to someone, and nobody paid attention, so I started talking to him from a distance. And so we were talking back and forth, and nobody was there. He wanted some attention, so I just started talking back, and I didn't realize that I was understanding what he was saying, and his words were inaudible to other people. But I could hear the words exactly, and I was talking back to him, and I was acknowledging him.
In English?
In English.
Oh, not inside, but outside?
Outside, too, at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that parrot belonged to somebody?
One of the disciples, and he comes to visit and eats there at the restaurant every day.
So he brings him?
He brings the parrot, yeah.
Is that person here?
No, he didn't come.
Okay. Yeah? Is that you? Is it your parrot?
No, I just talked to my dog.
You talk to your dog? What did he say to you?
He's living in my home already 13 years.
I know, but does he talk to you?
Yeah, mostly I understand he's very smart and so gentle, the dog. He's vegetarian for 10 years.
Mấy người đi đâu vậy? Đi về hả? Oh, it's time to go, right?
Yeah, every time my friend comes to my home, sees the dog, he just says he has like human eyes.
Human eyes.
Yes, he looks like a human, very smart dog. Mostly he can pick my my mind very exactly. Also, I can pick his mind exactly too. Mostly, he want to eat everything. He's old. 13 years. One day I talked to my husband, say he's too old. Maybe I don't want to take him anymore. Maybe give to somebody else. After that, the eyes were so sad. Always inside say, please, 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 don't get me away. Always say like that. Always say, oh, please, 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 please. So one day I said, okay, I will take care of your whole life. After he was so happy. Yeah. He also take care of me very smart.
Yes.
One day leg was broken. He just sit in my bedroom, look at me every day, stay there. Yeah. This dog very, very smart.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very smart. Sensitive. Yeah. The eyes, just like human eyes.
Okay.
Look.
You take care of him, okay?
Yes.
You take care. Don't give him away.
Yes.
Yeah, you promised already.
I will.
Yes.
Yes.
Dogs, they like to be with their caretaker all the time. Yeah, until they die. But many dogs don't have that chance. I know. They say every 4 seconds, one dog is killed in America. One dog is put to death because of being unwanted. They're not wanted by the ex-caretaker. Or even if I make mistake, maybe not 4 seconds, but 4 minutes. But even then, every 4 minutes, one dog dies. In America alone. Even if it's 4 minutes, it's terrible. Not talking about disaster or accident. No, they've been put to death in the shelter. Just say 4 minutes, so in case I'm wrong, in case I make mistake between 4 minutes and 4 seconds. But every 4 minutes, so as I'm talking to you now, hundreds of them have already died. A very miserable death. If you have to put your dog to sleep for any reason, because he's sick or too old or something, you talk to him, tell him what's going on. Yeah? Don't just throw him in the clinic, let them do it or something like that.
Yeah, mostly he don't like the take shower. So right now his body has something else, sickness, problem. So I more shower. So he just listening. Just let me shower all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he understands.
Yeah, if you explain.
Yeah, just like my kids understand. Very smart, the dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
All dogs are smart, believe me. When you love him, there is a response, always. Yes. When you talk to the animals, sometimes you can talk to them, but you cannot always tell them what to do, of course. But at least, he knows that you care. Even if you cannot communicate psychically, even if you cannot hear what he responds, you try your best and talk to him in English. And while you're talking, he understands, because you form a picture in your mind what you're talking about. There's a relation between what you're saying and what you're thinking inside, you see? For example, if I want to ask the brother, please bring me a cup of water, then in my mind there is a cup of water, you see? And that's what he understands. It's just that if we don't have the gift, we cannot understand back what he said to us. Not so obviously, but we could have feeling and intuition, and that's a different thing. But like the sister here, she really can talk to animals if she wants to. Okay? All right, I have to work, so I see you later. Right, let's go talk to my dogs. I'm going to test her. Okay, the Vietnamese, I see you later after you eat, okay? Yeah, maybe a little later because we're late, okay? So I let you eat first. And instead of 5:30, maybe 6 or 6:30, yeah? Okay, you sit in the gym, huh? And the contact person can also be there if you want, but you sit behind them or around them, okay? The contact person can be there anytime, and in any group can be there if you want to, but sit behind the group, yeah, behind. And the Vietnamese, anybody, some sit on the stage, some sits down there because we don't have enough stage. Ta-da, see you.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, is a world-renowned spiritual teacher, humanitarian and artist. To learn more about her compassionate life and teachings, please visit suprememastertv.com/master.